Did you know that nearly 3/4 of millionaires have never carried a credit card balance in their lives? So, if your goal this year is to become a millionaire one day, you also shouldn't carry a credit card balance. Paying off bad debt, paying off credit cards and personal loans is Millionaire Money Move 3 in our newly reopened Millionaire Masters course. 75% of our clients paid off all their credit cards and personal loans last year. And today, I'm going to walk you through how you can do this too, because only after you've paid off debts like these can you truly start building wealth. By the end of this video, you'll know the 2 simple questions that will help you figure out which debt payoff method might be best suited for you, as well as how to create your debt payoff plan for this year. And if you stay to the end, I'll have a special bonus for those of you looking to speed up your debt-free goals. Hey guys, it's Jennifer at NestEgg, where we talk all about money and your millionaire journey. Let's dive in now. There are 2 primary methods for paying off debt: the Debt Snowball Method and the Debt Avalanche Method. Let's start with the Debt Snowball first, because many financial experts argue that the Debt Snowball is the payoff method that people have the most success with. The idea behind the Debt Snowball is that you make the minimum payments on all your debts and then attack your smallest debt with whatever money is left over. And once you've paid off the debt with the smallest balance, you move on to the debt with the next smallest balance. You don't even look at the interest rate. With the Debt Snowball, you really focus your time, effort, and energy on paying off the smallest debt first, so that you can have some quick, easy wins. Because let's face it, we all love winning. So let's use Emily as an example to illustrate how the Debt Snowball works. Here's Emily's Debt Destroyer worksheet. You see that in the far right column, Emily has prioritized her debt from lowest balance to highest balance. If we assume that Emily has $800 in her budget to pay off debt, what she would do first is pay off the minimum monthly payments on all her debt, which totals to this $550 here. Because Emily budgeted $800 for her monthly debt payments, after she pays off the $550 of minimum monthly payments on all her debt, she still has $250 left to pay off additional debt. With the Debt Snowball, Emily would use the remaining $250 to pay off more of her Bank of America credit card balance, because this is the debt with the smallest balance. Emily would do this every month until her Bank of America card is paid off. And once that's all paid off, she'd move on to the debt with the next lowest balance, her Capital One card. She would then continue this process until all her debt is paid off. Now, some of you are probably thinking, but what about that American Express card with the $11,150 balance and 23% interest rate? Shouldn't Emily try to pay that debt off first? Because that American Express debt is costing her more. It has a higher interest rate than the Bank of America one, which brings us to the Avalanche method for paying off debt. With the Avalanche method, this is what Emily's Debt Destroyer worksheet would look like. She would prioritize her debt based on the interest rate of each debt, not the balance. In this case, the debt with the highest interest rate, the one that's costing her the most, the American Express one, comes first. And the debt with the lowest interest rate, the one that's costing her the least amount of money, the Mohela loan, would go last. Emily would still pay off the minimum monthly payments on all her debt, like she did with the Snowball method. So this same $550 here. But unlike with the Snowball method, with the Avalanche method, Emily would use the $250 as left over to pay down more of her American Express balance, because it's a debt with the highest interest rate. It's a debt that she's paying the most money for. And she does the same every month. When she's completely paid off her American Express card, she moves onto her Bank of America card, because that has the next highest interest rate, and so on down the table until she reaches her Mohela loan at the very bottom, which has the lowest interest rate. Now, logically, mathematically, the Avalanche method makes more sense. You should pay off the debt with the highest interest rate, the debt that's costing you the most money first. But remember, money is emotional. If money were logical, if it was only about the math, Very few people would spend more than they earn. Very few people would pay the interest rates that they're paying to borrow money from credit card companies. And it's precisely because money is emotional, not purely logical, not only mathematical. That's why people who use the Debt Snowball method are generally more successful, because paying off those lowest balances first gives them easy, quick wins. Easy, quick wins that build their motivation and confidence so that they can pay off even more debt. The Snowball method creates happy emotions as you wipe out one credit card and loan after another. You feel like you're making progress, like you're accomplishing something. And you're accomplishing this faster because you started with the smallest debt. Yes, in theory, Emily would save more money if she used the Avalanche method and paid off her highest interest American Express card first. But look at that balance on that card, $11,150. In the time that it would take Emily to pay off this balance on her American Express card using the Avalanche method, she would have paid off all 3 of these loans here with the Debt Snowball. $11,150. What if Emily loses her motivation and confidence along the way with the Avalanche method and just throws in the towel because it's simply taking too long? What happens if the lack of progress leads to utter despair and she goes back to her old habits and piles on even more debt? And that's the issue many folks have with the Avalanche method. If your highest interest debt is also one with a fairly high balance, or worse, the highest balance, it's easy to get demotivated because the process will be long. It might even feel like it'll take forever. There are no easy, quick wins with the Avalanche method like there are with the Snowball method. Having said that, just because the Debt Snowball works best for the vast majority of folks doesn't necessarily mean that it's best for you. As I always say, everyone's financial journey is different. We have some clients that love the Debt Snowball and others who love the Avalanche method. So how do you decide what might work best for you? Ask yourself the following 2 questions and be really, really honest with yourself. Your answer to these questions will help you determine whether you should start with the Avalanche method or the Debt Snowball. These are the same 2 questions that I ask my one-on-one clients before we kickstart their debt repayment plan. And remember to answer these questions truthfully. There's no one here to judge you or your answers. Question 1. Am I someone that likes getting things done as quickly as possible without sacrificing on quality? For example, if you had nothing on your plate, nothing planned, or do it all, and you were handed a project at work or school, would you choose to work double the hours every day and finish that project in half the time? So, would you choose to work 10 hours a day and finish your project in 3 days over working 5 hours a day and finishing your project in 6 days? Question 2 to ask yourself, am I highly self-motivated? Am I the kind of person that can hold myself accountable? Someone who really truly doesn't need others around me to cheer me on and push me forward, even when the going gets tough? As I said, be really, really honest with yourself. If you answered yes to both questions, then go ahead and give the Avalanche method a shot. If, on the other hand, you answered no to either of these questions, then the Debt Snowball may be the better option to begin with. Listen, there is seriously no right or wrong answer here. Choose whichever method works best for you, whichever one that gets your debt balances further and further down every month and on that path to debt freedom. Guys, if you like what you've seen so far, don't forget to give that thumbs up and subscribe a gentle tap. This tells me that we're putting out the right stuff for you and your millionaire journey. Now, if you're still a bit uncertain about what to do at this point, then drop me a note at jennifer@diamondnestegg.com to see if I can help you reach your debt-free goals faster this year. Or check out our newly reopened Millionaire Masters course via the link below and kick off your millionaire journey with us. I mentioned that special bonus in the beginning of this video. If you're watching this in January, you're one of the lucky ones to grab Millionaire Masters at its reopening price. Otherwise, no sweat, I've included our YouTube discount code below for you as well. If, on the other hand, you're ready to go ahead and do this on your own, here's what's next. First, choose either the Avalanche method or Snowball method based on your answers to the 2 questions that we just went through. Remember, if you answered yes to both questions, then go ahead and give the Avalanche method a shot. Otherwise, the Debt Snowball may be the better option to begin with. Second, download the free financial goal setting, budgeting, and debt payoff templates from our website and go to the Debt Tracker tab on the downloaded spreadsheet. I've included the link for this below the video. In this debt tracker, prioritize your debts based on the debt payoff method that you've chosen. If you're going with the Debt Snowball, then start with the debt with the lowest balance and end with the one with the highest balance. If you're going with the Avalanche method, then start with the debt with the highest interest rate and end with the one with the lowest interest rate. And don't forget to update the dates in the gray row. This is where you'll be tracking your debt balances every month for the next 12 months to see all the progress you're making. If you have a mortgage or federal student loans under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, PSLF, regardless of whether you choose the Debt Snowball or the Avalanche method, you will put these two last. So, list out all your other debts first, then put your mortgage at the very bottom of your debt tracker spreadsheet. And below your mortgage, list out any federal student loans that you have under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. That's because there's special considerations for mortgages and PSLF loans. First, let's talk about mortgages. Your mortgage is typically one of the last debts you will pay off for a number of reasons. 1, mortgage rates are pretty low currently, so you want to focus first on paying off bad debt that carries much higher interest rates, like credit cards and personal loans. If mortgage rates were to go up significantly, then you'd have to revisit this. 2, the interest on your mortgage is typically tax deductible, meaning that can lower your overall tax bill to the IRS. And 3, some mortgages have a prepayment penalty if you pay your loan off early. If you want to chat further about how to best pay down or possibly refinance your mortgage, then shoot me an email at jennifer@diamondnestegg.com. And now, PSLF loans. For those of you who have federal student loans under the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, remember that you only need to make the minimum payments on your PSLF loans for the consecutive 120 qualifying payment period that is required. That's why your PSLF loans are listed last. There's no need to pay down more of it than you need to or to pay it down faster. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. And if you're still here and you really want to get serious about paying down debt and jump-starting your millionaire journey, then shoot me a note at jennifer@diamondnestegg.com to see how I can help you speed things up. Or check out our newly reopened Millionaire Masters course via the link below at its January reopening price. The YouTube discount code is also there in case you're watching this after January's come and gone. I'll see you again next week with another money-saving, wealth-building video for your millionaire journey.